Damn, girl.
Would you buy these for me?
You grew up.
You're just gonna get bored.
Hey guys, Internet Funny Man Rev22360 here, and I'll be honest, I don't watch much of anime in my spare time. I prefer Western cartoons since I watched a lot of them as a kid. But anyways, I decided to give this one called Himouto Umaru-Chan a try since it did pique my interest with its interesting art style and more grounded premise. And it is not good. Not at all. But of course, this is a review, so I'll go more in depth. Shall we? Himouto Umaru-Chan is a Japanese anime released in 2015 and was based on the manga of the same name. The manga was serialized in Shueisha's seinen manga magazine, Weekly Young Jump. I think I did that right. The anime series itself bears a striking resemblance to another manga-based Japanese series of much less popularity, Switch Girl. Trust me, this will become increasingly more relevant as time passes. But what is the actual premise of both of these? A girl who is seen in the public eye as a perfect heartthrob and described as perfect by the show. However, when they return home, they switch and become basically an otaku, for lack of a better description. But there are distinct differences in how each show handles this. In Umaru-Chan, Umaru is literally the most perfect person on the planet. She's beautiful, smart, athletic, kind, talented. Not to mention this is all sort of delivered to us verbally as the anime starts. Seriously, the part this anime starts on is telling us how great Umaru is. One big peeve I have as a sorta writer is perfect characters. Characters who are basically flawless and have a long list of outstanding traits to boot. Shigure of Fire Emblem is a shining example of this, and he is brought up as this character who is talented in nearly every way, and he can sing and dance and paint, and he's also super considerate of everyone else, and everyone wants to just be safe and happy, and oh, come on, give me a break, dude. With Umaru, it's a little different in the way that she is perfect, as I stated before, but when she's at home, she's an asshole. What? That's not how making a character more likable works, guys. When she's at home, she's always a lazy bum, either playing games, reading the new June piece or what have you, while stuffing her face, mind you. And you may think that she buys all this stuff for her own money, right? Nope. Instead, she begs her older brother, who works all day, to buy her all these things that she wants. And it is hinted that she is given an allowance, yet she still begs him to buy her all these things, and for arbitrary reasons. And she does this constantly. Like when her brother Taihei gives Umaru some money to buy some clothes, she instead goes against his very thorough enunciation and goes to buy a new game. What? In so many Crunchyroll reviews I've seen, a lot of people say, "Oh, I do the same thing." You're a horrible person. You are an awful human being if you do the same things as Umaru. Anyways, there are also different characters than just Umaru. Her brother, Taihei, is a respectable, hard-working Japanese citizen who works at an office job and is the only person supporting himself in Umaru. The only problem with him is how spineless he is. He always caves into Umaru's every request, and even when you think he's gonna stand his ground and reject Umaru's request, he eventually does whatever she asks anyways. God damn it, Toei, you failed me again, dude. Also, you look like Astro Boy. As the series progresses, Umaru meets more characters and eventually makes friends. The first friend she makes is Ebina Nana, a shy girl who is somehow better at filling Umaru's role than Umaru herself. Ebina actually has an interesting backstory. She's a country girl that moved into the big city and is trying to adapt to her new life, mainly in a social way. Also this. And those two? They were fucking. Umaru also apparently has a rival. Cause yeah, I mean, of all the things that she needed, it was that, dude, definitely. Anyways, this Mexican knockoff Miku is named Syphilis Ford. Yeah, she's actually really annoying. She's all like, "Oh, I'm the best," even though Umaru's the best because she's the main character in Otaku Bait. And even when she loses, she's still like, "Ah, you got me, GG, yeah, fam, you did good." Yeah, Monkey Queen this ain't. I did like this part with her though. Classic. And Umaru's last, I guess, friend is Motoba. Also like Ibina, she's very likable. She's a misunderstood person who is said to be very scary and intimidating when really she's just a big dork, but I love her. But yeah, the way she gets all gushy about Umaru isn't unlike anything from Riko Saikawa. I think I said that right. It's pretty cute, though to be honest there isn't much really that sticks out about Motoba that strikes me as interesting. But she's still cool. There are some other minor characters like Syndrome for its brother.
My name is Incrediboy.
And Motoba's brother, who, at least for as long as I watched, aren't very interesting, so, Hey, but at least Syndrome's brother does seem to, use his time very wisely. But those are the characters. What do these characters do, exactly? What is the average episode built around? Nothing. Each episode is just filled with random events that just are kind of stitched together that just happen. And it's not comedic like a sketch show like Pop Team Epic, it's just things that happen. And you may object with saying that it's a slice of life, so it's okay. Well, no. A fundamental element of story is that there must be a conflict. Something bad needs to happen, the characters either have to fix it or circumvent that issue. In Umaru-Chan, there are very little conflicts, and those that do exist are usually squashed in seconds. Like with Motoba seeing Umaru in her Himouto state, and then she's like, nah fam, I'm just Umaru's little sister. And somehow Motoba is like, okay, cool. That reminds me, does Umaru, actually transform physically, or is this just all in her head? I mean, when she climbs on Motoba, she's clearly much smaller than her, but in public they're around the same size. Or is all of this just in Umaru's head and things just happen in a more realistic manner? Or am I thinking too deep into an anime that is trying so hard to bait virgin otaku that even I don't buy in? Probably. And any other conflicts arisen are usually shot down just because Umaru is the main character in otaku bait, and therefore has to be treated the best by making her brother buy her everything that she wants, and she can get away with doing this by either being really annoying about it, or crying about it. This girl is literally my age. They state her age, and she is still throwing tantrums and crying over not getting a goddamn manga on the day of release. And there's no good reason for this to happen. Like, if she had a friend who maybe got it on the same day, I mean, that would have been a stupid reason, but it would have been a reason nonetheless. But they have no reason. They give no good reason except, oh, well, I'm a Himouto, so I can't be like that. This isn't even mentioning the one time they were in public and Umaru was acting like a huge asshole towards Taihei, and was pretty much making the whole public around them be against Taihei. And also, Umaru, if you want these things so badly, then why don't you get a damn job and buy it yourself? Okay, Umaru didn't used to actually be like this apparently. She used to be a universally kind character, but I guess the writers thought that it wasn't good enough for an entire anime, so they had to write her into such a horrible manner. And you see, this anime could have been good. There was a manga released in 2006 called Switch Girl, and it was also adapted in 2011 as a Japanese drama of the same name. Each form of media predating Umaru-Chan actually, and Switch Girl is Umaru-Chan done right. For one, Tamiya Nika, the protagonist, isn't actually perfect. Yes, the boys and girls in her school do admire her, and she is socially respected, but in actuality, she's a really gross and messy girl. But this seldom hurts anyone except herself. Take for example, her school lunch spillage. She doesn't blame her mom or her sister, nor does she frame her best friend or even lie. She just flees to the roof and devours it there, where she first meets her love interest Arata, which kicks off the entire series' overarching plot. That was all in the first 4 minutes, mind you. And what were the first 4 minutes of Umaru-Chan?
My little sister, Umaru, is renowned for her grace and beauty.
And also, each episode in Switch Girl has a central conflict that must be resolved by the end of the episode. For instance, the first episode is built around the fact that Arata knows the type of stuff that Nika does when she's at home, and is trying desperately to convince him to keep quiet about it, while she also learns a secret about him. All along the way, they give us a good idea about who each character is. We have our protagonist, the best friend, the geeks, the love interest with the surprisingly layered backstory, as well as the rival to Nika, the Monkey Queen. I mean, I know she has a name, but this is all that they really refer to her as. Anyways, not only is she bitter towards Nika, like every real rival should be, she also has a reason. The Monkey Queen used to be a very popular girl when she was younger, but Nika surpassed her popularity and has been trying to destroy her reputation ever since. Switch Girl is teeming with all of these well-crafted ideas and weaves them into very interesting storylines, and it's a shame that not as many people know about the live-action drama as they do about the inferior Umaru-Chan. Plus, with a scene like this, how could you resist this show?
この縮れ毛はお姉ちゃんの
Pussy!
Overall, Himouto Umaru-Chan fails in many ways, but there are still some aspects I do enjoy. The art in the show is very appealing, and it's very cutesy, and that's really what originally got me to watch the show in the first place, since it looked so good. The show can also be funny when it wants to. I did find that part with Sylphenford to be pretty funny, and lastly, I do like the little references the show implements. It's creative, and the show is revolved around that kind of culture, so it's been realized to a bigger extent, and it's also much more subtle with how it references things. Like how Sylphenford and Umaru join an esports competition, the game is actually fully animated and it looks absolutely amazing. Hands down my favorite part of this anime. But I did only watch until the Christmas episode before calling it quits. It was around that point that I began to get bored with the show and wanted to do something else. Umaru-Chan? Bad anime. It could have been good if the main character wasn't such an asswipe. Now, play me out, that one guy who filmed himself mimicking Umaru-Chan. You know the one!
Daisuke Oni-chan!